Now, I could sit here and tell you all about how bad junk food, lack of movement, having no social life, and living on your phone is, but you already know that. So today, I want to dig a little bit deeper. Let's go right into it. So, one of my biggest fears when I was younger was not having enough time in life to do all the amazing things you could do. Ironically, as time went on, I felt like hobbies disappeared more and more. Not because people aren't interested, but because we're overstimulated, and the challenge to do something when distractions are right next to you is tricky. You might also think, I'm just not a very passionate person. That's just how I am. It's not that deep. Well, I thought the same. There was a point in my life where I only went to the gym and just sat on my phone the rest of the time. You know, I just moved to another city, barely knew anyone. But I thought, I go to the gym so I'm in shape. At least I do something. I'm fine. But this was rather an excuse to not admit to myself that I was, well, chronically miserable. This went on till the point I knew something needed to change. I needed to take action, otherwise I would die not having made any memories. So I joined a club and I started doing track and field and also began doing calisthenics. Every other day I was working out, talking to people with the same interests. That's just such a great feeling, and honestly, it's one good way to socialize. But still, if you're not able to keep yourself busy on your own without some distractions, it's problematic. I mean, you're going out on a regular basis now, but what you gonna do when you're alone? That's why I decided to buy a guitar, a used camera, and I started learning Italian. While I'm still not good at singing, it's so much fun and I love it. And going out, taking photos, making videos is one of the things I fell in love with. Additionally, being able to talk to people in their native language often makes them so happy. And it's way easier to start conversations. So pick one thing and just start. It can be anything. If you're interested in, I don't know, palm trees, go all in, buy 20 palm trees and pave your whole apartment with them. You get the picture. Just don't live without passion. And ideally, have hobbies with people and hobbies just for you. But passion dies quickly when you constantly put yourself last, neglecting yourself for other people, work, or family. It sounds noble and admirable, but you know what? There is a sentence I heard that I can't stop thinking about somehow. Yes, you would die for your family, but would you live for them? Regarding this one, I'm not speaking from personal experience. It's something I notice a lot around me. See, around me people are getting married, houses are being purchased or built, families are started. Maybe I should think about what I'm doing here. Anyways, in everyday life I see with how much pressure it comes to make everything work. To keep things running, they work so much, and on the way often neglect their own needs. Often without really noticing it. But the honest truth is, what's the point of a house and other materialistic stuff if you don't see your family and sacrifice your health? Especially later in life, what stays for you are not the things you build, but the moments you remember. That's why balance matters. Sometimes less is more. I know that's easy to say from my perspective, but maybe you can take away something from it anyways. And sometimes the pressure doesn't even come from real life, but from people we look up to. See, we need role models. We need people to look up to figure out what kind of life we even want. The problem starts when we stop thinking for ourselves. Just because someone is successful doesn't mean their habits, routines, and mindsets are healthy or even make sense for you. A lot of advice only worked in their life, their circumstances, their personality. I remember a quote I couldn't escape on Instagram for months. Isolate yourself for 6 months, put in the work, come back unrecognizable. Yep, you'd be unrecognizable, but not in a good way. Humans are not built for isolation. We need connections, we need rest. We need moments that don't serve a purpose. And while you're busy trying to disappear to level up, you might miss out on experiences you never get back. And if you're thinking, who would actually listen to that advice? Honestly, good for you. But especially some younger people may see these quotes and start thinking suffering equals success. And that idea quietly ruins lives. And even if nobody tells us to suffer, we sometimes do it ourselves. Sometimes we don't even notice it in daily life. We're so deep into our activities and tasks that we forget to actually take time for ourselves, to calm down and slow down life a little bit. Of course, stressful situations are inevitable to some degree, but how we evaluate them is key. For me personally, in the past I sometimes felt my heartbeat when going to bed. That's when I knew I did way too much this day. This happened of course rarely, but that's why, especially in more demanding periods of your life, it is important to take breaks. Especially if I feel like I don't have the time to take half an hour for myself, it is most crucial. It's about to identify the feeling early on and acting on it. Meditate, take a walk, read a book, even if it's only 10 or 15 minutes. And when stress and pressure pile up, it often leads to another trap. Sometimes when life gets tough, it's easy to feel like it stays like this forever. You might face a challenge again you thought you had solved and suddenly feel like you failed. I've had phases in my life where I just feel unsure, anxious, or just off. And when problems or low moments came back, it's so easy to think, I can't handle this, I'll be stuck here forever. The truth is, life doesn't move in a straight line. It comes in phases, ups and downs, highs and lows. Just because some bad feeling returns doesn't mean you failed. And just because things feel hard right now doesn't mean they'll stay like this forever. That still of course doesn't mean everything fixes itself automatically. Growth. Such a difficult word. Growth still requires, the next word, growth still requires effort, reflection and action. But recognizing that life naturally comes in phases makes the journey less overwhelming and more manageable. We often spend our days chasing the next big goal, thinking that reaching it will finally make us happy. In the process, we rarely pause, rarely notice the little things happening around us. And we tend to forget that life isn't about milestones and achievements. We miss the small things on the way. The first coffee in the morning, the glow of the sunset. Okay, that sounds cheesy. Anyways, the scent of fresh cut grass after a summer rain. Pausing to notice these things doesn't mean giving up on your ambitions. It just reminds us that happiness isn't only in achieving big things. It's also in living the life you're already in. None of these things are obviously dramatic. That's the scary thing. They don't destroy your life overnight. They slowly decide how your days feel and how much of your life you actually remember. And you don't need to fix everything at once. Just start with one thing. It's your life. You can act on it tomorrow or right now. If you're one of the 20% still watching, thank you so much and let me know in the comments. If you want more videos like this, consider subscribing to my journey. It would mean the world to me.